it does not feel like work.
Yep.
Because I truly enjoy what I do. I truly enjoy helping people.
Yep.
And taking, I'm not just putting people in my car and taking them around houses anymore. I'm taking a house that is no longer livable and creating a whole new space for somebody to call home.
What's up, everyone? It's Austin Rutherford here again with another episode where we talk business, finance, and real estate. Today we're here with the special guest, Misty Lynn. She's crushing it as a realtor and an investor. We're going to kind of hear about her story, how she started, where she's going. But I wanted to welcome you on here. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Absolutely. So just kind of tell the audience, who you are, where you're from, and kind of what you do right now.
Okay, I'm Misty Lynn, as Austin said, owner of Core, Ohio. So I own my own real estate brokerage, and I'm a real estate agent. Majority work with investors, so that's kind of a niche specialized business model, I guess, that I've created, and that's majority of my business is working with investors, doing design work, floor plans, and just overall one-stop shop for getting a property from an unlivable space to a livable space.
Love it. I love it.
Originally from Akron, now I live in Columbus.
I love it. So that's kind of how we met at the beginning.
Yeah.
I flipped, one of the earlier houses that I did, and she walked through it. And did you walk through the one, or did you have the buyer the first? You had the buyer the first one.
Buyer the first one.
Okay, so listed the house. She actually brought the buyer to the table, and ended up doing a deal, and just loved how the process went. And then she kind of followed, and she's like, "Why are you doing the same exact finishes on the house every single time? Same paint colors, same tiles, same cabinets." And that's kind of how we started working together. So for she helped design, lay out, floor plan, pick out finishes. And list and sell, all the houses.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it started. So just to kind of recap, though, you're a realtor. You help design. You help select finishes. You do your own investments, your own new construction, your own rental properties, and Airbnbs.
Restaurant owner and club owner. Yes.
Little bit of everything. True entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So
multiple streams of income.
Absolutely, absolutely. So take it back like day one, like when you first got into real estate. What did that first year look like?
Well, when I first got into real estate, I was working at Fremont Elementary, working with kids with behavioral disabilities. And I was doing that for 5 years and just really I was done with work at 3, felt like a glorified babysitter. It wasn't for me. I wanted more for my life, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. Doing it for 5 years, I didn't feel like I was making that big of an impact within a school system because of the rules, regulations of a school system, school district. So I had a friend moving from Chicago to Columbus, and she called me up, wanted to go look at condos, asked if I wanted to go with her. I went with her. I was like, this is pretty cool. Looking at downtown condos, really loved her broker at the time, Bruce Dooley. He was the one that really encouraged me to get into real estate because he was saying I would go to his open houses all the time, and he's like, I see you more than I see half of my agents that work with me.
Yeah. And
I was like, I love it. I love coming to your open houses, and he encouraged me to get licensed.
Nice.
But I thought, my mentality was, well, you have to have money to even get into real estate, and I was like, I don't have money, so I can't do that. But yeah, he said, just go get licensed and I'll teach you the rest. And that was in March of 2006. So I took that entire year off, that whole summer off. I used to coach Special Olympics.
Nice.
So I took that whole summer off. I was like, I'm gonna pretend this is my full-time job. And I got it together, but I really had no idea what I was doing. So my first deal was my neighbor, her and her husband were moving to Atlanta.
Nice.
And I listed their property. A guy was jogging down High Street, picked up my flyer. I was home. I said, I can show it to you right now. He took both sides, and I was like, it's pretty sick.
I love it. I love it. At the beginning, there's always trouble when you're trying to start something new.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see if you want to answer it. But to get licensed, you have to take the test to actually get licensed.
Right.
For people that think success is easy,
Yeah.
How many times did you take that test?
3 times.
2 fails, 1 pass.
Yep. And the 3rd time, I was never the best student in school. I just did what I had to do to get by and get out
Yep.
to make money. But the 3rd time, I told myself, I said, look, if I don't pass this time, maybe this just isn't for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to look at something else. Because I truly did study for that test.
Yeah.
And it was the first thing I ever truly studied for.
Yep.
And I could say I put my heart into it.
I know a lot of people that have never taken the test because they've been scared of taking the test.
Yeah.
And I know people who have taken the test and failed time and time again and then finally passed. And then guess what? They're successful now.
Yep.
So, starting a business, starting a venture, starting a career is not always the easiest thing in the world. Everyone sees like the success and the money and the happiness, but they don't like realize the beginning of all the time and energy and effort and failures that you have to put in to get there.
Right.
So that's awesome. So, that's how it started 15 years ago. What does it look like today? And people love numbers. So like number of projects, number of sales, what does it look like today?
Well, 2020 was an interesting year, obviously, for everybody. But I did 38 million in sales.
That's crazy.
I currently have 82 projects going. And I have my own rentals. In 2020, I had an opportunity to open a restaurant. So I partnered with a business partner, opened a restaurant, and then also opened a club. During the pandemic, so
Diversifying.
Yes, diversifying my income, not just having rentals. I want multiple streams of income, always, because I lived through the 2008, the 2009 when the market crashed.
Yep.
And going back to, that mentality of thinking, I made it through and still had my business, but I also had to do a shift at that point too. I started running foreclosures and short sales for an attorney.
Yep.
So now when 2020 happened and everything shut down, I was like, okay, here we go. We're going to start diversifying and really just amping up rental properties and multiple streams of income.
I love it. So 82 projects, some of those are your personal projects.
Correct.
Others of them are JVs, and some of them are like you being the realtor of another investor listing a project.
Right.
So, there's a million ways to make money in real estate. I've done mine through like flipping and building and rental properties. You've done yours through being a realtor, through flipping, through building, through Airbnbs. So, for anybody who's watching, again, there's a million ways to make $1 million in real estate. Her success came at the beginning from being a realtor, mine from being an investor. There's a lot of different avenues that you can take. There's not just one way to get to quote unquote success. He went from nothing to an amazing business. What were some of like the hurdles or mindset shifts that got you to where you are today?
I would say my mindset, when I quit my very secure job at, in the school system, everybody thought I was crazy to go into real estate.
Yep.
That was my family, my friends were like, what's wrong with you? You're done with work at 3.
Yep.
It was, you have the weekends off. So that was a hurdle just because at that time, starting into a new business, I felt alone because I didn't really have the support of other people or other people like-minded like me to talk to.
Yep.
So that was for sure a hurdle. And I always remain that I never want to go back to where I came from.
Yep.
Growing up, I didn't grow up with anything. My mom had me when she was 16.
Yeah.
So we grew up together. And I know that I don't ever want to go back there. I want to be able to provide for my family and provide for my friends and show other people a better quality of life. So
Absolutely.
That's always where my mind goes back to is I never want to go back to that place.
For sure. So taking the leap of faith was obviously a big one. A lot of people are stuck in a job that they hate because that's what we're taught as a kid.
Yep.
We're taught to, grow up, go to school, graduate, get a degree, go work a job and work your way up this corporate ladder and hopefully retire at some point. I hear it time and time again from people that want to be entrepreneurs that they're scared to take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
How long, I don't know if you remember this, it was a while ago, but like how long were you thinking about taking that leap of faith before actually taking the leap of faith?
For me, I knew I had to do something because my alarm would go off and I would be like, gotta go back to that job again. And I don't think when you have that mindset, I don't think that's fair to the people that are around you at that job.
Yep.
Especially when you're working with kids. I'm like, this isn't fair to the kids at this point because I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So I think anytime you're in your life, you're feeling that, just burnt out of going to somewhere and doing something, you need to look at that as a person and
for sure.
And make your life better and the quality of people around you become better.
100%. So how do you feel waking up now?
I would say the number one question I get all the time is how do you work so much?
Yeah.
How do you work 7 days a week? How are you up at 6 a.m., 5:30 a.m., working out and then going to work and working all day? Sometimes I'm on my computer till midnight.
Yep.
It does not feel like work.
Yep.
Because I truly enjoy what I do. I truly enjoy helping people.
Yep.
And taking, I'm not just putting people in my car and taking them around houses anymore. I'm taking a house that is no longer livable and creating a whole new space for somebody to call home.
I love it.
And that's my drive, and that's what makes it all worth it. And
so you wake up energetic, excited.
Yes, for sure.
Everything. I love it. So obviously we're on vacation right now. So what does your team look like back home to be able to do what you're doing? The numbers and freedom to do what you want to do with life.
So I have a full-time assistant.
Yep.
And he's turned out to be a hustler. I mean, I never told him he had to work 7 days a week, but he does.
That's Bill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a crusher.
Yeah. But yeah, Bill's my full-time assistant. I have 3 full-time buyer's agents and 4 part-time buyer's agents.
Nice.
And then I have full-time designer on staff.
Yep.
I own a staging company and a full-time photographer on staff as well.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, you've taken it from, again, a business of nothing to a business of where you're at. Where do you want to go? Like, what do you see, the 3, 5, 7-year vision from here? I
think, coming to these masterminds and stuff, I think that what I do in the business I created is lacking in other markets.
Yeah.
I talk to other investors and they're like, man, I wish my real estate agent did that, or wish she had a staging company, or, wish they had that vision. And I think teaching other real estate agents, investors to streamline the process, because I've worked with so many investors that are just all over the place, and just don't.
That's how most of our investors are.
And when you show them the process, they're like, "Oh, it's that easy. Oh, I don't have to be there every day. Why would you be there every day?" So, I think for me, my next step would be to really put everything that I do in a program and be able to teach it and show other people how they can. You really amp up your business. I mean, every investor I work with now, they have at least doubled or tripled their business.
I love it. I love it. Speaking from experience, I used to be on site running every single job, picking out all the finishes, dealing with all the contractors. And when we started working together, she actually understood, not obviously real estate, but the end goal, the construction as well. So being able to have somebody on your team, again, the right people on the right teams, was a game changer, because it wasn't like me all day, every day. You were able to actually step in and help a system that I didn't know because you had experience that I didn't have. So people don't understand the power of hiring, of putting people on your team, but that's what allowed me to scale. That's what's allowed you to scale, is having the right people on your team. Any advice on how to find good team members?
I mean, don't get discouraged would be my first thing to say, because it is discouraging. I mean, it took me a long time to have somebody that mirrors my mind, because I can walk into a property and it's disgusting. There's raccoon poop everywhere, and people are like, oh my God, I don't even visually see it. I'm like, no, this is where the kitchen's gonna go, this is where the cabinets, So visually I have that, and it took me a long time to find somebody that really mirrored my vision, as well as could see it and put the business systems in place.
I love it. So trial and error. To an
Trial and
extent.
error, and don't give up on that interview process, and don't hire the first person that is breathing that actually showed up on time.
Yep. Been there, done that.
Yeah.
They never work out.
They never work out. It's real exciting when they're there and you really need somebody, but be patient. I mean, I had to let go of an assistant, and I didn't have anything in place, and that was scary space to be in. But it was like, well, guess I'm gonna work every hour of the day or whatever it takes to find that right person. And so it wasn't a rush process.
No, so that's awesome. Like I said, hiring the right people is an absolute game changer, and hiring the wrong people is a game changer as well. I definitely appreciate you being here. We'll get to how people can find you. But one question I love to ask, if you could give one piece of advice, maybe something you've learned in your life, to everyone here that's watching it, what would that one thing be for somebody?
To leave them with? I would say never give up on your dreams, and surround yourself with people that are truly of the mindset of how you are and how you actually want to live. One piece of advice I was given, and I find myself doing this, when you have a goal in mind, set a goal, set an image board, and when you have that goal in mind, and you're sitting on your couch and you're scrolling through Facebook and looking at Instagram and gossiping with your friends, think to yourself, if your goal is to be a millionaire, would that millionaire be sitting there doing that? Probably not. So I think that, for me, always to be in the mindset of my goals and working and bettering myself and the people around me. And that always just triggers me, is like, okay, what would that person be doing that I want to be or become?
Not being lazy.
Not being lazy, right.
Has your circle changed over the years because some
Absolutely.
people don't want what you want out of life?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, my circle, my relationships, we work a lot, and that's hard for some people to understand. It's hard. Some people are like, when's enough enough?
Yep.
And it's like, when is it ever enough?
Yeah.
It's something I enjoy doing, so why would it be enough?
Yeah. No, it's tough to realize that your circle will have to change as you elevate.
Yeah.
But it's part of the process. It sucks at times, but you meet better friends doing the things and growing to the places that you want to grow to. So I love it.
And then you meet true friends. You meet
For
people
sure.
that are
down.
down and there for you no matter what. And that's, if you're not there for me when I wasn't successful, you're not going to be there when I'm successful.
Yep. And when you meet those types of friends, they love to see other people win.
Oh yeah.
That, I get excited off of that stuff.
Right.
So no, that's awesome. Well, tell them where they can find you at, Instagram, website, whatever you got. Where can they find you at?
So email's easy, Misty at Misty Lynn, and Lynn is Linn. Instagram, Realtor. I think that's it. And then same on Facebook.
We'll link it in the description below, so make sure you check that out as well. Female powerhouse, killing the game. Appreciate you being here.
Appreciate it.
And thank you to you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.